About 4 years ago, I made a really big change in my life, moving from being a consultant and trainer to being a provider. And what was behind that is two things really. Being inspired by Bert Sorg, reading about something called teal organisations and self-management, and wondering what it would be like to put that into practice here in the UK. And before I did that, HSA as an international organisation moved to explore greater autonomy, and the team in the UK became a self-managed team. So that was one thing that inspired me. And the other thing that inspired me is the question, could we put into practice everything that we have been teaching people over the past couple of decades in HSA, putting person-centred practices at the centre of the work that we do and person-centred teams. So that was a really ambitious undertaking, which we've been doing for the past 4 years. So the purpose of Wellbeing Teams is to support people to live well at home and be part of their community. And we wanted to demonstrate a number of different ways of working. So the first one is absolutely, truly relationship-centred care, where we talk about love, we focus on relationships, we get rid of what we think are outmoded notions of professional distance in the way that we support each other. And we supported both individuals, we support colleagues to bring the whole self to work, and the people we support to pay attention to their aspirations, what matters to them, what's working and not working right now for them. So relationship-centred care was one of our aspirations. Another of our aspirations is to support people to be part of their communities, looking at what's happening in their communities and how can we help people to be contributing members to their community and feel really part of what's going on. And we did that in partnership with Community Circles, which is the charity that I'm also part of. And then the third thing is, can we focus on the well-being of both the people we support and our colleagues, and base that on the research of the 5 ways to well-being. So how can we do that? And what Jeffrey Pfeffer's research tells us, Jeffrey Pfeffer is professor at Stanford University, and if you find his book Dying for a Paycheck, he said that true well-being at work and being safe at work is focusing on social connections and autonomy. So if we're serious about that, paying attention to greater autonomy at work and our connections between each other, bringing our whole selves to work, and actually what Brené Brown talks about in relation to daring, vulnerable leadership are all things that we've been trying to pay attention to. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever done, learning from scratch about what it takes to be a provider and support people safely, as well as the aspirations that I've just been talking about. We also had to learn about value-based recruitment to see if we could recruit people whose values aligned with what we want to achieve, believing that if we took people from existing services, existing home care workers, unlearning this way of working, traditional ways of working, from bureaucracy and hierarchy towards greater self-management would be really, really difficult. So over 80% of people we recruited have not had experience of health and care and come from hospitality, from shops, from childcare, from schools, from loads of different places. We've been really excited about who's come to work with us. And what was inspiring and delightful and testament to our hard work really was getting the highest rating you can get with CQC, the regulator, which is outstanding, in January 2019. So we stopped being a registered provider in July this year, and now our focus is supporting other organisations to use the approaches that we've developed in Wellbeing Teams and moving towards relationship-based care, focusing on community, well-being for people supported and for colleagues too, and a focus on greater autonomy and towards self-management.